Welcome back to another episode of Home Sweet Home. My name is Rod McCall.
And I'm Scott Nichols.
Dude, what the heck is going on? How you been?
I've been great. It's we've gotten into this new school year and things are going well, and I'm loving the new year and the new work environment and the new people we're working with, and everything's going great.
Yeah, we've had a decent amount of turnover again, but of course, I always got a turnover in students. So
that's always the case with teaching, right? Like, there's always teachers coming and going. People got to do what's best for them in life.
Oh, sure.
So some of them leave and some of them stay, and you get new people coming, and
some
it's
of them
great.
come back. So we've had a couple
some
of
people come back,
which is always kind of nice.
I think that speaks to the work environment, right?
I think so. Wait a minute. Are you headed in a direction?
I was just thinking we'd talk about some work environments today. I mean, I think most people that are listening to us probably work.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a lot of people out there that are philanthropists or, just independently wealthy, sailing on their yacht, listening to the Home Sweet Home podcast.
I'm going to give a shout out to somebody I know who is retired that listens to us.
Well, that's awesome.
So, hey, Dow, you don't have to work. You're retired, buddy.
There you go. I mean, I know a few retired people too, but they did spend a lot of time working.
Yes.
And spent a lot of time in work environments that may have differed from ours, and ours differed, over the years as well. So.
Oh, well, yeah, because I haven't always taught, and I haven't always taught in this school.
Sure. But even in the environment we're in now, I mean, it hasn't always been the same.
No.
So.
I keep being reminded again and again and again that the only constant in life is
death and taxes.
Well, even death and taxes can change.
Death and taxes, right?
Because maybe you can cheat death, and maybe you can dodge taxes.
I've never met anybody who can cheat death. Eventually, it happens.
Well, one of my favorite TV shows is a story about two boys from a hometown, Sam and Dean Winchester, from the TV show Supernatural, and they cheat death all the time.
Right. Well, I mean, so does Wile E. Coyote, but
He does.
I mean, it is what it is, right? Sometimes there's reality, and then there's
TV.
Our hopes and dreams. So we do want to talk about work environments. So where are we actually headed with that?
Well, all right. If you're going to point us this direction, I keep thinking about how work influences home, and I'm thinking about this just kind of off the top of my head.
Wait, you bring your work home?
You don't?
Well, I'm a teacher, so of course I do. Right, all teachers do, but other people do that too.
I don't know how you could not.
Right.
I mean, everybody says, "Oh, well, I got 8 hours of work." I would imagine that most people a lot of people spend at minimum 8 hours a day.
Sure.
Whatever you do, when you go to work, that has a huge impact on you. I mean, I'm not saying like on your pocketbook or, something like that, but the whole work day experience.
Sure.
The positives, the negatives, all weigh on you. And when you clock out, you don't just hang that up.
Right.
And you kind of take it home with you. The good stuff, you're feeling pretty good. You're feeling pretty light. You want to share that when you get home about what a great experience or was something wonderful that happened. But I think the opposite is also true.
Yeah.
And I think it's also a cumulative effect. If you're at a job and it's a job that you have for the paycheck because you are basically financially indebted to this job because you can't afford to get anything else. But you hate the job, you hate the work environment. There's just so much about it. You bring it home and you bring that negativity, that anger, that frustration, that sadness, disappointment, all the negative emotions home with you. And then I think it has a huge impact on how you engage with everybody at home.
I think it can even be more about, so maybe you love your job, meaning that your career, the role that you have in wherever you work, that you actually love it, but you work with people that hate it and are negative or find all kinds of negative things to say.
Yeah.
And negativity, positivity and negativity are catchable, right? Like people can
Yeah.
catch that. And so if you work with a bunch of people that are negative, that can be problematic. Like you have to expend a whole bunch of energy every day to try to stay positive and really enjoy where you're working and who you're working with. And so if that's the environment you're in, that's going home with you too.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, and it's when we get home that sometimes that's when the in work environment can manifest itself into something that it's not intended.
Right.
And so, like I said, I think we all take our work home. And so we want to have a good work environment. And you and I are very, very blessed to work not only together. I mean, you get to work with me. I mean, I can't imagine anything that's better than that, right?
It's impossible. It's impossible. I mean, unless I was working with Batman. Right. But, I mean, you're kind of like Batman. So.
Oh, well, okay. So, but at the same time, like I say, but even here, and I've been in this school district and in this school for a while, and we've gone through a lot of changes, and I really like it. But I've not always worked in a great place, but I truly do think that when you've got a great work environment, it helps things at home. They can make life okay at home, but because you're not carrying negativity at home, you might even carry some positivity to home that helps balance out some potential negatives that you might find at home.
Yeah, I mean, it helps when your stories from work, because everybody has them, right?
Yeah.
It helps when your stories from work are more positive or comical, right? And less about, geez, I just can't stand, Johnny because he's just being negative again about everything, right? Like that's a problem. And I just don't, I can't stand doing that anymore. I mean, that's an issue, right? But you have to combat that, I think, with positivity. You have to try to be positive, focus on the positive, and kind of ignore the negativity that's around you. And that is hard to do. But then that's the only way you don't bring that home, right?
Sure. So the big question is, how do you know if you have a unhealthy, or I guess we could call it maybe a toxic work environment? Because I don't think that when we go to work, go to our job, or even apply for a job, we're trying to go, ooh, I want a horrible work environment that is extremely toxic that's going to make my life a living hell. I think we all want a job that not only are we decently compensated, but we're also a good work environment that encourages us to grow and develop in our skills and talent, as well as feel a little bit of recognition and have people that are kind of pleasant and easy going to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a little digging, and I found this thing that was talking about how clues to explore if you're in a toxic or unhealthy work environment. Because if you are, well, if you can, maybe see if you can find another place to work. Not everybody has that option. I mean, there's different ways to deal with it. I think if you're a business leader or a manager, things you could look at, is your work environment toxic? So it's not just employees. It could also be management that maybe they can see, hey, can I do anything to make things better?
So, yeah, and I'm a believer in, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to like run away from the place that you're in. I'm a big believer in that situations that we are in are opportunities for us to learn and grow. And so there's ways out there, and of course now we have YouTube and we have all these things out there, right? Like there's ways and there's books and there's things that can help you learn from the situation and grow in it. And, you might actually even be able to come to a point where you can spin that environment back into something that's more positive. But, it's a learning and growing opportunity. But that comes from a place of where are you at, right? Like, are you in a place where you would be able to handle the learning and growing and doing that? Or is it so bad that you really need to just get out of there so that you can get to another place? Because,
exactly.
It's just like any other relationship. Like if you're in a relationship where somebody is beating you and abusing you, you probably just need to get out the door.
Yes.
Right. And if you're in a place where, somebody's just negative, speaking or whatever, like that might be something you can work through and help that person with. But, it just depends on how bad it is for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you in being able to continue to handle it and grow in it and try to help the situation? And not everybody can do that. So
Sure.
that might depend on whether you want to skedaddle out the door to another place, right? Or maybe try to work it through.
Well, I think the first thing to always choose, like you were just saying, is can we change from within? Can we change our work environment? I mean, if there's a lot of constant drama and people are kind of, infighting with each other, oh, did you hear about this? Oh, hey, and you're gossiping and all that kind of stuff, but you're spreading bad gossip. You're creating, a lot of negative drama.
Sure.
That grows. And maybe, if you're in an environment, there is a ton of constant drama and infighting, this department against that department. What can you do to maybe change it?
Sure.
Can you say, hey, stop the gossip?
I mean, work culture is important, right?
Yeah.
And in our environment, we focused on a lot of great culture things to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a reality that work culture is not always good. And of course, it will depend, right? I mean, is the negativity coming from the manager, from the boss, from the top, or is it coming from laterally, right, with your coworkers? That makes a big difference into whether you can handle it or not.
Yes, especially because in a lot of the places I've worked at, it usually comes from the coworkers, the people, the lateral, not as much the management. I give credit to management for the most part, wherever I've worked.
But it could come.
It could. It
might
really
be listeners who are definitely have a boss that's like almost abusive.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like the guy. What's that movie that we always reference? Right. Office Space.
Oh yeah.
I need you. I'm gonna really need you to come in on Saturday.
Yeah.
And fill out the TPS form. And I don't want to work on Saturday. Right. And if you're leading me down that road, it's going to make me negative. Right.
So. Well, I think something else, and this is where we have experienced some of this here, or I have experienced anyway in teaching, is a lack of trust and a lack of support.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't feel like you're trusted, I mean, you hired me to do a job.
Exactly.
Then trust me to do the job. If you don't trust me to do the job, then tell me what am I doing wrong, and either give me an opportunity to fix it or give me my walking papers, my pink slip.
So what you're talking about is micromanagement.
I guess you could. I don't like to be, micromanaged.
Yeah, I mean, if you've gone to college and you've gotten a degree and you were hired because you had a degree and you had good references and you had good work ethic and all that stuff, I mean, like, why wouldn't you be trusted to do what you were supposed to do, right?
Or if I've got a client and I'm dealing with a client and the client calls the boss and the supervisor and tells some not so accurate recollections of my treatment of the account, and then the boss comes up to me and takes the client story 100% and my story 0%. Well, where's the trust? Where's your support of me? Right. So it kind of goes both directions.
Sure.
I've felt that way, and that really makes it kind of hard for you to feel motivated to keep moving forward.
I think that's one thing that I have seen, right? Like usually the people that end up negative feel like they just don't have support.
Yeah.
Whether they have it or not.
True.
Right.
That is very true.
And the support may actually be there, but it's the perception, right? Perception. What's that saying? Perception it becomes reality, right?
Yeah.
That's what becomes reality for us, and so we get stuck. It's almost like the algorithm in our brain making us think a certain way, sort of like the social media accounts that we have, but creating that echo chamber in our brain where we just can't get out of this loop of negativity of like they're just not helping me.
Oh, absolutely.
And I can see that, right? Like I've seen that with coworkers. I've maybe felt that way myself in the past. And once you get in that loop, it's difficult because you kind of spiral down, and at some point they're not going to help you.
Oh yeah,
right? Because they've had enough. And so negativity, focusing on that is kind of what causes a lot of this.
Oh, completely. I mean, something else on that they were identifying of, potential or signs that maybe you're in a toxic or unhealthy work environment is when you're overworked and underappreciated.
Which is like almost everywhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing that 99% of the people listening, not the retired people,
Yeah.
but everybody
Sorry,
else, right,
Yeah.
is in an environment where they probably feel like they're either overworked or underpaid or both.
Yeah. And you get punished for doing a good job. I have a buddy of mine. He used to work for Kmart warehouse, and one of the areas he worked in, they had to go fill piece boxes, is what he called it. And you had to have so many boxes filled per shift per day.
Sure.
Well, when somebody would go on vacation, well, you still had to reach your department goal
right
that week. So people would bust their buns and they would cover for that, that 1 week when somebody's out, they will all pitch in and work extra, extra hard.
Right.
Well, so the management looked at that and they go, wow, you're able to do that with one less person. Perfect. We don't need to have, one extra person. Well, you did fine without them. So you know what? We'll just transfer them to somewhere else to fill an empty spot somewhere else, and ta-da.
Sure.
Well, now you're working in overdrive all the time. And if somebody else goes on vacation, now instead of being down one person, you're down two people. And now you got to dig in even harder. I don't know. Again, that kind of overwork without appreciation, that's tough. And it's hard to stay positive. And like I say, I think that could truly it could lead to, feeling frustration and hatred first of your job. And again, you carry that home.
Again, perception is reality for us, right? Like you might actually be, being appreciated somewhere, but it's not the kind of appreciation that you're looking for, right? So it's not what we think it should be. But those kind of situations, people should be pulling out, who's kind of the leader in this, and do we need to move them up, right, and make them a manager or a leader on the line or whatever, but not all companies do that.
No, and I have to say that our current administration at our school, I think, does a decent job of singling people out and saying, good job.
Oh, yeah.
And I
think that's done a lot in education, though, a lot more than us teachers want to admit or notice.
Okay.
I do think it happens a lot. I mean, I've worked in a few high schools, and I've experienced that. I've also seen other people that don't feel like they've experienced that. So, and I don't know why that is, right? Yeah. I've never been an administrator. It is coming in my life, but it's not yet. But I'll carry that stuff into when I'm an administrator and think about like how do you recognize people? I mean, even now as a department head in the school, I'm thinking about that because I want people to feel valued, and not everybody's feeling valued. And when you're not feeling valued, a lot of us spend more time working than we do any other time of the day, right? Like, if you're awake, if you work 8 hours, right, and you have rest for 8 hours, if you're lucky enough to do that, and you sleep for 8 hours, you've got 16 hours, but you're probably doing 12 hours of work, even if some of it's at home.
Yeah.
So now you only got 4 hours or 6 hours with your spouse or your children or whatever, right? Like, so that majority time and the experiences that you have in those relationships, because they are relationships, right? That's going to carry over into that home relationship, which you have a much shorter period with. And most people want to go home and just crash on the couch and be like, leave me alone, right? Leave me alone for now. And that's fine, right? Like everybody needs their space.
Yeah.
But then at some point you're like, let me just tell you about that crap that happened at work. Sure. Right. And then you dump on the other person and things get negative quickly. I mean, we somehow you have to be able to cope with what takes place at work, but you also don't want to just dump it into your house.
Exactly.
And those other relationships.
And I mean, or even worse, if you don't have the opportunity to vent, you come home and your spouse is having a crappy day too because they're telling you about
Right.
their work. And then you've got your children who haven't seen you all day telling you about school and they want your attention because, they want your attention.
Next thing you know, it was a bad day
And,
for everybody.
yeah. And let's hurry up. We got to take, somebody to ballet and we got to take
Right.
somebody to, sports practice and we got to get here for a game. And in your grunt, you go, man, all I want.
So, I mean, are there some practical things we can do at home to try to alleviate the issue and not have it spiral into a home issue as well?
Well, one of the big things that they were saying here is do what you can to maintain a work-life balance.
All right. So are we gonna box work and then box home life? Is that like, are we compartmentalizing?
I think what they're saying is it's okay. Like, okay, one of the things I do here, we'll take a mental health break. We'll take a day off.
Sure.
And it might just be a day for me. Sometimes Sherry and I have scheduled to take a day off together.
Mm-hmm.
And we will just take a day off. In fact, we did this here, a few weeks ago. And she and I took a day off. Her sister came and sat with her mom all day, worked from home. And we went out to breakfast, went to a movie, goofed around all afternoon, all morning, afternoon, and into the early evening. And it was just a her and I day.
Right.
One of the guys that we work with, he talks about how he takes a day off. He's got that buddy that has a comp day like once a quarter, and so he and his buddy will get together and they'll play video games all day.
I think that's great, right? And the funny thing about that is, as a history teacher, right, and you as well, the funny thing about that is, like, we act like this is some kind of new take on life,
Mm-hmm.
right? That you should have a day off from doing work, right? And there's religions out there that have said this for thousands of years.
Oh yeah.
Right. So, I mean, people recognized a long time ago that you need to have some kind of a rest day from all the work that you're doing. So, like, none of this work issue and negativity and all the things are anything new. And we still struggle with dealing with it.
Sure.
And we still try to work on that extra day that we should be taking off to do something that is for us.
Well, some way. When you mention that, during the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church or the Christian Church had literally, what did they say, dozens and dozens of holidays.
Sure.
And church holidays where you don't work, because they recognize that you cannot work people this hard, this long, and expect them to be productive or successful.
I mean, several of the holidays that we still have are from that.
So. Yeah. And so, again, building in, just, sometimes you gotta do it.
Mm-hmm.
I know most, it's tough because if you don't have, you don't work in a place that allows you to have paid time off, or you only get 2 weeks vacation per year. That might be hard to take a mental health day.
Mm-hmm. And I know there's plenty of studies that people could just look up by Googling it that suggest that you need some rest in order to be more productive. Uh-huh. We have this contrary mindset where we think that you need to keep working because that's production. Uh-huh. But, like, the longer you work, and this is kind of an economic thing too, right? The longer you work, the less productive you become.
Yeah.
You have to have a break.
Yes.
In order to be more productive.
I mean, 8 hours a day is plenty. But again, if you work in you have a work environment that has deadlines and people don't care about you, they care about the deadline, they care about the bottom line. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's times when Sherry, because she does work in the tax field, will be burning, 12, 13 hours, 14 hours a day. And she'll do that for, the month of January and the month of April. She rarely comes up for a breath.
Yeah.
And it's 7 days a week. And I go, this is nuts. This is crazy.
This is the problem that I have with these work from home jobs now. You can't get away.
True.
Right. That's the problem I had with it during the pandemic. You just can't get away. Like, you're always at work now because your work is in your house. And some people love it. right?
Yeah.
And maybe they can compartmentalize it, and they have an office space in the house, and they shut the door, and they have that rest day.
Mm-hmm.
I would be always in that office trying to do something.
Well,
It
yeah.
would drive me crazy. I mean, I have to, because all of our stuff that we do for teaching is online, right?
Mhm.
I can access it 24/7. And you think about it, and then you're like, I could just pop that computer open, I could do that thing. And it's like you have to fight that and be like, no, I'm going to do that later.
Exactly. Totally, completely agree.
So,
It is, because that's the thing. And one of the, I guess the last piece of advice, if you work in a toxic work environment, I would highly encourage you to start looking for a different job that will allow you to work in a place where you do feel appreciated,
Sure.
where there's a lot less drama, where there's opportunities for work growth and opportunities to develop new skills and move up the ladder.
yeah.
Because when you feel worth something, you're going to work harder, work better.
And you got to be careful, right? You got to make sure you research that place to make sure that it's not going to be a worse environment
Oh yeah,
than what you're in, right?
because the grass
you wanna
isn't
go to better.
always greener on the other side.
Right.
But anyway,
Awesome.
that's all I got on that.
I mean, keep the home life positive as much as possible. Try to keep the work life positive. I mean, try to be that positive influence in your work and in your home.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not easy.
No, it's not.
Nobody's saying it is.
No, it's not.
Nobody's saying it is, but that's it gets easier the more you do it, right?
Yes.
The more you work on that. So, I mean, that's just something we got to try out. So,
Yeah.
I think that's it.
All right. Well, then I guess we'll just take our happiness and head for the house.
All right.
Well, then until next time, my name is Rod.
And I'm Scott.
Bye.
Have a nice day.